We all knew this session would be complicated.
I knew we were facing divided government, and I knew we needed the governor to sign our budget.
We expected it to be contentious.
What is your point?
That the members of this body not call each other's votes disgusting.
Okay.
And bound to be interesting.
My sister-in-law, she is Latino, and her family, I love hanging out with them and practicing my Espanol un poquito.
And it was. Thanks to a growing and amazing grassroots army, and a formidable group of conservative lawmakers.
This is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. This is not a government of the lobbyists, by the lobbyists, for the lobbyists.
As a conservative, I don't trust politicians. I don't even trust myself to do better with your money than what you're going to do with your money.
There's nothing more than the COVID madness that made Republican registrations happen. But unfortunately, this will be a party line vote, but that's okay because this is going to the ballot for the voters of Arizona to decide whether they like Republican restraints on the power of the executive to run their lives. I am proud of my seatmate Joe Chaplik for sponsoring this. I am proud to co-sponsor it, and I'm even more proud to vote aye.
We expose their radical agenda.
We need to make sure that we can have take cars off the street so that we can have, better air quality and all.
Ms. Rodriguez, Marilyn, can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You sure about that? You sure about
the cultural wars, claiming the equity and diversion and inclusion is racist because it doesn't put white, male, heterosexual, or conservative views on a pedestal to remain unquestioned.
I have a master's degree because when I got certified, I was told I had to have a master's degree to be an Arizona certified teacher. We all have advanced degrees. What do the parents have?
Excuse me?
We must remember that the purpose of public education is not to teach only what parents want their children to be taught. It is to teach them what society needs them to be taught.
Yeah, cars are king here, but we need to stop using cars.
Smoked out the deep state.
Does it include vehicle mile travel reduction targets? Things like narrowing roads, reducing speeds, or other road diet strategies to get people to drive their cars less?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Hoffman, it does include a suite of different...
Simple yes or no. Does it include those things?
Yes.
It does. Okay. And Mr. Chairman, forgive me for being direct, but it is absolutely ridiculous that you are claiming that people are clamoring for, because that's the way you're kind of framing it, right? That they're clamoring for bike lanes and walking paths on freeways. That is the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Hoffman, to be clear, it's not on freeways. These bicycle and pedestrian paths are adjacent to or provide a crossing over. Freeways essentially represent barriers.
They're bureaucrats! I don't respect them!
I wouldn't expect you to be absent from a board meeting where you're recommending policy about the public health of when that's your role.
One could say that the board, at your direction, was attempting to circumvent the law.
If the goal is to protect people, right, which as a public health professional, you've made it very clear that's part of how you view your job.
Yes.
Why only 10 to 5?
Senator Hoffman.
When that's the vast minority of public gatherings occur during 10 to 5. Why was that your recommendation?
Senator Hoffman, I know you, I don't recall.
Went on the offense.
So will be tracked mileage, location, all done by a third-party vendor. That is something that scares me to death. I don't need the government to track my mileage or my location 24 hours a day.
We are not San Francisco.
and we will never be. And light rail has never been a winner. We are funding a loser. In our town, it's a moving urinal.
How does transportation stand for racial equity? I don't get that.
Past conservative ballot referrals.
We're here today because ranked choice voting is a proven scam to further destroy integrity in our elections. The Arizona Freedom Caucus unequivocally opposes ranked choice voting.
And the challenge is, if we get in a real emergency and the government becomes dictatorial and shuts down our rights, in a real emergency, we need the freedom to do what we have to do to respond to that emergency. The proper role of government, number one role of government, is to protect the liberty of the people.
And it wasn't a walk in the park for Hobbs either.
Statement that you made. Oh, you spilled your soda. Are you going to clean that up or just leave that here for the business? She's going inside of a restroom. She's ran.
Why won't you take any questions? It's been 4 weeks, Governor, since you've had a gaggle. Why are you avoiding the public? Why are you avoiding the press, Governor?
And I get it, her office is falling apart, and people are resigning left and right, and
I am very disappointed in many of my colleagues who I've had conversations with over the weekend, who have all of a sudden changed their votes. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they are too afraid of voting against the governor. Because they want to protect the governor, although we are a separate branch and we were elected by our constituents, not by Governor Hobbs.
I have seen budgets be passed when we've had Republican governors, and it has always been given to Democrats in the last minute. Today, many of us Democrats helped Governor Hobbs get elected, and I personally thought maybe this year would be a lot different. But that is not the case. Democrats seem to be in the same boat as if we would have had a Republican governor. We also have not had the Senate confirm all the governor's directors. Literally, what is the point of holding the governorship? Why did we all work to get Governor Hobbs in office and we are still short?
See, I couldn't have said it better myself.
We should celebrate our wins. Because the fight isn't over. To keep AZ free.